So thanks a lot for investing your precious evening time on this auspicious day, which also is a Sunday. So we are doubly grateful from Srimad. Plus, it is our honor to relaunch a foundation which we had launched on Ramanavami Day this year in the name of the Indic Foundation. And we have been asked to rechristen that as the foundation for Indic Wisdom. For obvious reason, there were people who had similar names. So we were asked to take a different name. So we're very happy to launch that initiative today. So what we intend to do through this is to periodically, with the grace of the divine elders and the Guru Mandala, share some inputs from the Indic wisdom along with some practices that we think is the key differentiator. The reason is we hear to a lot of talks which are happening across globe on the wisdom that we feel is what? That is the philosophical side. That we can always listen out from, you can say, a podcast also. But if the talk is accompanied by simple practices, which people can go after the talk and implement in their day-to-day life, if it touches the chord with them, then it makes a worthwhile exercise of investing the time. So there should be some difference in knowledge delivery from the way we get it from books and recorded videos or recorded podcasts. So that is the first difference we wish to create, that whatever content we are planning to offer will always have a practice or a practical component to it, and that would be covered during the session itself. That is the first thing we wanted to tell you. Second, this particular day is very, very auspicious in the traditions with which Srimad is connected. Our primary connect is with Nityanand Bhagavan of Ganeshpuri. He initiated Rakadi Baba, whom we Omkarananda Swamiji. He initiated him in the Natha Sampradaya on the Karthika Poornima day at Ganeshpuri near Bombay. And Rakadi Baba initiated Poornananda Swamiji, whose Samadhi is at Sri Sailam, on the Karthika Poornima day. Then Master Shri, through whom I have been fortunate and continuously receiving inputs from the year 1997, was initiated on this Karthika Poornima day by Poornananda Swamiji. So this lineage somehow is connected with this auspicious Karthika Poornima. And it was so fortunate that this inaugural talk is coinciding with that date. So this is the second aspect I would like to share. And in the living traditions of India, lamp is given an extraordinary importance. So even the schools, colleges, you would notice they would be having a lamp symbol throughout India. It doesn't matter which tradition, which culture the education institutions are following. In most of the emblems, you must have seen the lamp there. Okay. So in one of the seminal texts on how a yogi lives and realizes and finally transforms into a Purna Vedantin, we see in that Swami Abhinava Vidyatirtha, his book, which is now available for all of us free to study and internalize, where we observe he was taught Hatha Yoga by Shiva himself in the dream. And every day morning, the Acharya would be seen in that particular posture. Then he would remember this was the lesson, he got it. Somewhere in the book, Acharya mentions the example of moment a lamp lights another lamp, there is no difference. No one will know which lamp was lit first. That is how the Sampradaya transfers knowledge in the Guru Parampara. So when we go to meet the great Acharyas, we may see someone is a Sannidhanam and their Guru is Maha Sannidhanam or Acharya or Paramacharya. Even in there, both of them are present. Technically speaking, they would never consider one is Guru, another is Shishya. The bhava may be because for the external world, but the light lit is the same. That's the Atma Jnana. So that is another reason why it is so good to celebrate this Karthika Poornima festival, where throughout in India in this month, today we light lamps, the clay lamps are lit as a mark of celebrating this festival. Okay, so lamp means always knowledge. And today, one of the first practices we are going to do now is you can take a minute break and light a lamp if possible in mud pot if you have at home, or any lamp you can light it, and we will wait for a minute and then we will start the session. So I am pausing the recording till we resume the talk. So thanks for lighting the lamp. Okay. So it's a very, very auspicious way to start the day in the morning, and also when you wind up the day, again, because morning you need the light to function with clarity. Evening you need the same light to go through the day. When I say light, the lamp which you lit, and reorganize yourselves. So both the times to start the job also you need knowledge. When you conclude, to take your things to do and prepare yourself for the next day. Plus, once you come in, you have to go in. Please remember, once you come in home, you have to go in within yourself. So coming home also has a significance. So you turn your back to the outside world without disrespecting. You are entering your home. You are coming in. That is equivalent to you turning in and tuning in. So the evening lamp and the morning lamp, ensure that it is always lit by someone at home. It doesn't mean you have to do it, but keep this knowledge with you. Okay, so the lamp is of extreme importance. Second, the entire living traditions has always been based on a tripod. Three things. One is sadhana. Sadhana is nothing but goal-directed effort. Sadhya means goal. So sadhana means goal-directed effort. The one who undertakes any goal-directed effort is called a sadhaka. So that is a tripod there also. So sadhana, sadhya and sadhaka. And this sadhana, just because it is in Samskrita, don't disassociate yourself from that when you go to your corporate world. When you in your business or corporate world also, you have a goal, that is sadhya. Sadhana is the process through which you are going to achieve that goal. And who is going to achieve that goal? You, the sadhaka or the sadhaki. Remember, language is a means of communication. So let us not tell ourselves if we do something in English, it's business and corporate, and something if we think in mother tongue, it has nothing to do with life. So we have to come away from such self-imposed bias. So the same sadhana, sadhaka and sadhya, you can apply towards every goal in life, because you are the one who is pursuing the goal. You are choosing a process, correct? So when you do the Stephen Covey's quadrants, so urgent, important. That is the sadhana. That is the process you are doing to reach the goal of optimizing your time. And who is doing it? You are doing it. So this is the way you have to apply our traditional wisdom, extrapolate to whichever work or business you are doing in. So the sadhana is important. Why? Sadhana enables self-transformation. A teacher or a guru or acharya can only share the knowledge, like taking the horse to the pond. The horse has to drink. I'm consciously using the word horse because we see horse as Hayagriva, and in the West also you say from the horse's mouth. So it's like buying a book, anybody can buy. You have to read to digest it so that it issues out in your action and thought process. Like that, we need to own any sadhana to become or unveil that or unfold that being wise within ourselves. So that sadhana is extremely important. Today, we are going to also practically do it. Second, very important aspect is Satsanga. Today, we are all assembled. 14 of us are assembled. We are consciously assembled to discuss something about a truth. If it is a satsang on Vedanta, it is about that supreme reality which you call Brahman. Okay? So, when we are now discussing about the importance of knowledge, importance of today, and how to make utilize of every day what we are going to live. Okay? So, this satsanga is something which you periodically, consciously, voluntarily involve yourself in. Okay. Now extrapolate this. When you are in a particular job, you attend a conference or a symposium which is in sync with your job. Am I right? Please correct me if I am wrong. Sometimes you attend a symposium to upgrade your knowledge. So that is called satsanga. In satsanga, what happens? Sometimes it appears that you are listening to the same topic, but when you listen keen, you will get more insights or your existing knowledge will deepen. Correct? So this is why when someone else talks about, say, marketing, and if you are also in the field of marketing, to know what is that they are differentiating from the way you are offering or the way you have understood marketing, we go and attend that. Because knowledge, like Rigveda says, no, let noble thoughts come to us from all sides. So satsanga, if you extrapolate to your day-to-day life, it is those knowledge upgradations you do to stay afloat. That is satsanga. And second, you get to meet like-minded people and people who are in pursuit of similar vocation. Like very recently, Mohanji and myself, we traveled all the way to Haridwar to be part of a 3-day international yoga conference. We could have studied books and got that knowledge also. But when you go there, you listen to people who are practicing same topic, what you may be a specialist, but they will give you a different insight. Your understanding? So the second aspect we are discussing is satsanga. The third one is swadhyaya. Why it is important? Adhyaya means study. Swa means self. You start from small s, that is self-study. Suppose, what do you do if you are in a particular profession? You obviously visit library, visit Google, buy some books and read in a very focused way. Suppose your domain, you want to deepen your expertise in, say, HR, and you want to do something in organization development. I'm very sure you would not pick up a book on mechanics and study about it. Correct? So you would study focused and you see the experts, which books are being recommended, and you start reading about that. Yes, Vivek, you have a doubt or any observation?
Yes, Krishna, we
Yeah,
have a question.
yeah.
So, in this context, suppose I have a goal to
Hmm.
learn more about, say, a particular aspect. What is the difference between sadhana and swadhyay? For example, if I were to read a book on a topic, what would classify it as swadhyay rather than sadhana and vice versa?
Sadhana is self-discovery. Swadhyaya could be the result of somebody's sadhana. Okay. Someone experiences certain aspects during their meditation. It could issue out as a book also, right? We have a lot of books on Mantra Shastra. They were somebody's sadhana at some point of time, which was realized and it has been brought out as book. That is Swadhyaya. Okay. Here, sadhana specifically means a formula. That formula is predominantly a mantra, around which other things like working with fire, the Panchabhutas we work. In every sadhana, you work with the Panchabhutas. So when you are meditating on the mantra, you are working it with a space element because that is sound. Correct? So when you use that same mantra as an oblation or during your offering of flowers to the divine, there's a sensation of touch involved and you are connecting yourself to the divine. Like that, the form of the divine is nothing but the fire aspect of the Panchabhutas. Okay? So every sadhana we do either is directly connected with the five elements or at the end of it, you offer the five elements called the Pancha Upachara Puja, like that. So here, sadhana basically means you take up a formula and mull over it. Okay. It may incidentally become a book, or Swadhyaya could be the processes which are practiced safe and someone has mentioned. It could be the life history of a great one, or it could be a commentary on a text which we needed to study in our journey of self-discovery. Is it okay?
That helps a lot, Krishnaji. Just one quick follow up, if I may.
Yeah, please.
So mapping this to the world, like for example, when you were talking about, say, a Stephen Covey work or something, is it reasonable to think about them as reading and learning being swadhyay, which is somebody else's sadhana, and sadhana being reflection, which is what comes up for you yourself originally based on that? Is that a reasonable metaphor to think about it? Reading versus reflection?
We can't reflect on all that we need to know in life. Correct? We have a limited time, we have a limited mind space in which one cannot experience everything else they have to experience. This is
Right.
why we started the session with the Sampradaya. For example, right now we do not need to again reinvent the wheel of writing a Advaita Bhashya for Adi Shankara in Bhagavad Pada's Bhagavad Gita. It is already done. So Swadhyaya helps us not to reinvent the wheel. So we connect ourselves to the tradition and refer the books as guided by the tradition. We don't pick up a book and start studying. Okay. So I'll give you an example which could make this better, which our alumni knows it. See, all of us are reasonably good in English language, right? Reasonably good in English language. And for example, here Ushana is there. She is from the audit and banking sector. Just because our English knowledge is good, if I go and pick up a book on banking and audit, written in correct English, grammatically, simple English, do you think I would be able to understand that subject? We can't, because subject knowledge is different from language proficiency. Let me tell it again. We may have the knowledge of a language, but that doesn't guarantee that we will understand everything written in that language. Am I able to make some sense?
Yep.
This is the reason why the tradition never recommends people to just pick up a book because they have a resource, that is money, or they have time to study, or it is freely available in Google. Whatever we are trying to do it on our own will only be information. How to convert that information into knowledge and how to process it so that it becomes wisdom is only given in the tradition. This is why all the way from here, people go to Stanford or IIT to study, wherein those books are anyway available in the market. They can go and study. But the guidance is under a teacher. So this last time also I was explaining, when Malcolm Gladwell wrote the book Outliers, he passingly mentioned that 10,000 hours practice for getting mastery in any field, chosen field. But that study was done by a professor. Somehow I'm forgetting his name. I'll share that booklet, small booklet we have done with that. That professor who did the study clearly said, this mastery is possible only when someone has a mentor or someone guiding them. That particular paragraph or aspect is not mentioned by Malcolm Gladwell. Later in the freewheeling interactions, he mentioned, and the professor who actually did the study has clearly mentioned that even at 10,000 hours you are working in your field to gain mastery is possible only if you have a mentor who is understanding what you're doing. What is that? You can do 10,000 hours of sadhana unless you are connected with the living tradition. You may be doing the right thing, but in the wrong direction. Vector is important, no? Scalar is only quantity. You are doing. What is a vector in mathematics is you are not only doing right, but your direction is also right. This is precisely the reason we should pick up a sadhana only through an established sampradaya. And you are free to question your teacher. This is what my teacher has said. He said, you have to ask your teacher, who taught you? Who is your teacher? Which sampradaya you belong to? The one who belongs to the sampradaya would never feel ruffled. They will say, then you can ask, who is their teacher? So what the tradition has given us a simple shloka. It says, Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmad Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So what does this mean? We have teachers from time immemorial, and then at some point appeared Adi Shankara. To him and the teachers who followed him, we are prostrating to that parampara. This is a great thing to understand. After Adi Shankara's advent, we had Ramanujacharya, Nimbakacharya, Vallabhacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many great saints who came and wrote commentaries on the ancient texts. I'm sure all of you know this. But the base text, what they study, is the text, the commentary of Adi Shankara. That is the reason why Adi Shankara is given that position. So someone studying at their own text, but they are following dualism or qualified dualism, all this, their first text of study is Adi Shankara's. That is the connect with the Sampradaya. Okay. So what I am trying to tell you is, sadhana, we are anyway going to look at it. Swadhyaya, this space is much abused because today people want to be intellectually sharp and study this subject for conversations over a cup of tea. People don't study to understand and practice and benefit in their life, but mainly as an intellectual pursuit. So we need to stop studying for intellectual pursuit. We should start studying for spiritual realization. Okay. A hard disk also can memorize the book and keep. An AI chat GPT also can do. But realization, only a conscious human being can realize. So we have to primarily understand. For that, what we need to understand, we may be excellent in language, doesn't mean we will understand the subject. For that, I gave you an example of our English may be extremely good, but many of us cannot written books on audit or banking or anything in accounts, which is also written the same English what we know. Similarly, we may study English very well. It doesn't necessarily mean we'll understand Bhagavad Gita available in Amazon or in the market. Because understanding depends on the subject, not just grammar rules. So I thought I will caution all of us, including me here, that let's not pick up a book in random and study. Instead, speak with your teacher or a guru or your acharya with whom you are studying. Ask them the guidance of which authors to study, which sampradaya we are connected with. Have a freewheeling discussion and study only what is recommended. Because knowledge, if you keep accumulating without putting it to use, will become a big burden and we will walk with a lot of guilt only. Unused knowledge or unprocessed knowledge is a baggage. Please be very clear in this. So we need to know more and more about less and less. That is called specialization and expertise. So you should go deeper. There is a time when you go wider. Like when you start any professional course in India and abroad, the first year you are taught all the subjects. Then you choose your specialization and you go deep in the rest of the years. Similarly, there is a time in life to have that width. But once you are steady, you should go for the depth. For that purpose, you don't need to keep studying new areas. The same book you read again and again and again. Every time it reveals based on your need and your ability to connect with it. So this is about Swadhyaya. Now, Satsanga also is extremely crucial. Why? Whenever you are choosing a Satsanga, you have attending a Satsanga, we need to know whether it is aligned with your goal, your sadhana. Just because you happen to be in a town and you have to go to a place where they are talking about a spiritual subject. Everything is spiritual in India. There is no spiritual or secular because knowledge is from Saraswati. We worship knowledge. Our children, when they unknowingly stamp on the book or notebook or pencil or any object of study, it could be even the garden equipments. Please understand our culture. We use the foot before using the soles of the feet to start the morning. You take permission from Mother Earth saying that, Mother, please forgive me. I am going to start my day. I am stamping on you. I am walking. Such is our culture. We don't stamp on a carpentry equipment, kitchen equipment, a spoon. Only thing you step on is a footwear. Please understand our culture. It is very humongous because we are people who say everything is divine. There is nothing but divine. We have graduated from there is one God. We say only God. So everything is auspicious for us. So the book you buy, you just keep it. I keep telling people it becomes shelf development. It doesn't become self-development. Your bookshelf is developed, but self is not developed. So Swadhyaya is studied in the initial days, autobiography of great masters. This is how my teacher guided. You study the autobiography of great masters. So we studied first the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna by Yam, the very big book. Then God lived with them. Then they lived with God and how to live with God. Why? It is Sri Swami Vivekananda in 1893 started this conscious revolution that the spirituality is universal and it should reach every home. So is it not our duty to know the story of how it started? When you work in corporate, you write case studies. We say HP started in a garage, Kodak did this. So we are so happy to go to the root and study because there is a material gain in having intellectual knowledge. Similarly, whichever tradition you are connected with, we should go to the root and see how it started. You're understanding, no? So this is how we start studying the life histories of saints, because you clearly know that rose comes with thorns. You'll understand. Because people think nothing works for me, I'm going to become spiritual. That means we are unfit to be spiritual. Because once a family came up with a child to Poornananda Swamiji at Sri Sailam, and they clearly told that, just a second, I think they are bursting crackers in the village. They told Swamiji that, this boy is good for nothing. Can you keep him in the ashram? Swamiji said, ashram is for people who are fit at across levels. Ashram is not a place for invalid people. So this is how we have degraded our own culture. If nothing works, send that fellow to an ashram or an NGO or do some service. But to do service and be part of an NGO or an ashram requires more stamina, emotionally and mental stability than our corporate job or business. But we all understood it ulta. Correct? So this Swadhyaya is extremely important. It should be a guided self-study, because what will start as Swadhyaya, small s, will lead to capital S, that means study of the self, capital S. So when you are guided through how great saints lived, you understand trials, tribulations, bouquets are all part of life. And then you will also see how they overcame that. It gives us, like when you want to know how Japan's culture was built after the World War, you study Made in Japan by Akio Morita, how Sony redefined quality. Before World War II, Japan was not known for quality. It was like erstwhile China. So they consciously built. So you study like that to understand. So when you want to know the culture and how things evolved, you go to the text. That kind of texts are recommended by the tradition. I hope it's clear. Now, Satsanga, we were starting to talk. We want today everything now, including peace of mind. Because what has happened is this, on the go, you can order for your food, grocery, and anything you want. Before you reach home, they deliver it to home. So we feel knowledge also has to happen instant. Our sense pleasures have to be, sense gratification has to be instant. Nothing will happen in instant. Maybe you can prepare instant coffee, that's it. So the urge to that urgency will not help anywhere. I'll tell you a simple example. A coconut tree takes full life like a human being, 120 years. And the first coconut comes at the age of 12 of the tree. You also have coconut trees which are now 30 years. They give coconut from the third year itself, but their life is only 30 years. Anything comes in an instant, will go in an instant. So we need to learn how to wait. When you learn how to wait, you can see things blossoming in a right way. It is like you plucking the mango from the tree and artificially ripening it, keeping on rice or gunny bag, and you allow the mango to ripe naturally on the tree. You could easily see there's a difference in aroma and the taste. Because the mature mango has to actually mature along with the tree. The nourishment is needed till it falls down. So the squirrels don't go and eat something which is not fully ripe. No, they exactly know where they have to go and eat it. So for this purpose only, we have to be very clear and stay away from instant 2-minute noodles like processes or talks which are given. So when you attend a satsanga, that satsanga should be aligned to your sadhana preferably. Let us not go to satsang for intellectual gratification or to pile on some certificates at home. So be very careful. Is that clear? So now coming to sadhana aspect. So all of us need to utilize the mind to overcome the mind. Like you are traveling, there is a river. You need to use the bridge to cross the bridge, cross the river. You're understanding? The mind is like that. We need to know how to use the mind. It is given for us to utilize it, and we need to cross over that, and that happens by grace. So this is the mind which helps us to experience the fruits of all the hard work. For example, we are sitting at home, you wanted a cup of tea, the cup of tea is before you, and you get a phone call. You mechanically drink the tea and attend to the call. Neither you can give 100% to the tea nor to the call. If you keep the tea as it is, after your call, your spouse will take off. You made such a hurry to give a tea and you are not taking time to drink the tea. Many of you may be laughing behind the camera, but this is the truth. And then you will also speak with someone over the phone. So your mind is not here or there. But when you talk, you want everyone to give their complete attention. See how hypocrite many times we are. So for all this, the mind has to be prepared. Because mind is the battlefield which we face every day. And win or loss happens in the mind, not anywhere outside. It reflects in the body, but everything happens in the mind. And all the goals, the planning, execution starts with the mind, because the goal or the desire is the seed which you sow in the mind. And you can't just sow the seed and come off. You have to fence it, weed it. When it comes up, other things will come, unnecessary things will come. You have to groom it, offer it fertilizer or whatever is needed for its growth, and protect and bring it up. That's exactly how you are going to work with your sadhana. Just because a great guru initiated doesn't automatically give us realization of that mantra. It is as good as going to a shop and buying a book. It doesn't give you the knowledge of the book. You need to work on that book. Like that, you got a sadhana, a mantra japa. We need to work on it consciously. And many times, we do not do that because we do not see any tangible benefit of practicing it. When I say tangible benefit, you are not seeing any increment or job change, or you are not able to connect it. So we are ready to take up any work which is giving us external benefits. But what we seldom realize that if we prepare the mind diligently, you can experience your external benefits also better. Because when that benefit is coming to you, you are in the right state of mind to accept it with humility and experience or enjoy that benefit. Else today, like stress-based diabetes is there. You work all the life, and when you have to enjoy, they say onset of diabetes, there is a diet control. Because the mind has been not managed properly. And then we'll say blood pressure. Blood pressure generally happens when the thought management is not done optimally. And where thought happens, it happens in the mind. So a sadhana is something which in tradition is customized to each individual. Yes, I'll share it. Okay. So there is some basic, it's like your first year engineering I was mentioning to you. There are some things which are common for all of us. And then the specialization happens. So the common things are you need to stretch your spine, twist your spine. So some stretches, it need not be yoga asana. It could be taekwondo, karate, brisk walk, a kind of physical activity which keeps you up and running. Because we have moved away from agrarian economy and we are constantly seated. We are having sedentary lifestyle. So the limbs need to be given enough exercise. So you choose a form which resonates with your personality and your need. That is why I clearly said you are interested in taekwondo, judo, karate, brisk walking, marathon, whatever. With the help of your knowledge or informed friend, it could be a doctor. Find out what suits you. Because your friend is running ultra marathon, it doesn't mean it will suit you. Maybe you are eating from the same plate. Okay. But each of us are designed differently. But the basic walking, warming up is common for all of us. Second, certain pranayama techniques are common for all of us. Fine-tuning of pranayama technique, you have to sit one-to-one with the teacher and get it fine-tuned. Same mantra. Any mantra will take you to silence. But if you have your personal choice that I am towards this form of divine, please feel free to approach the teacher and take that aspect because that resonates with your belief and your connect. So in Indian tradition, we call it Ishta Devata. Okay. So that is a mandatory practice. Suppose if we do not have a mantra, what we can do? Recently, the Sringeri Acharya has announced and initiated publicly, which rarely happens, the Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, the mantra, and asked all of us to chant 308 times every day till the temple is inaugurated at Ayodhya. And we can chant it till the temple is inaugurated at our heart. That's an external thing, right? So you can continue, Acharya has given. You could pick up the mantra called Bhagavaha given by the Kanchi Acharya. So these two mantras are in public domain given by the great Acharyas also. Third are called the Nama mantras, which are you take the name of the divine. And one of the most common Nama mantra is Om Shri Matre Namaha. That is seeing the mother, the divine in mother and the mother as divine. The first name of Lalita Sahasranama. Like this, there are some Nama mantras which are available. So we pick up that and regularly practice those mantras. What it does, it allows our functioning of mind optimally. It helps us to tap our own potential. It makes us self-reliant. And in time of distress, we know where to anchor. See, every time our friend may not be available. Our siblings may not be available. Parents may not be available. Even our teacher may not be available. Who is available with us? The mantra which we have taken. Please remember. That is why it is called Mananat Trayate Iti Mantraha. That which protects the one who ruminates or meditates on it. So that is a starting point which gives us clarity. And then you pick up the books in alignment with what your teacher said, your Sampradaya says. Then attend the satsangs, the congregation of truth, which is again in alignment with your sadhana, because we all have 24 hours time. And whatever time we have, we should judiciously allocate intellect other than intellectual gymnastics. We should be very clear, are we going to do that? Or we are going to benefit out of knowledge? Choice is ours. Okay, this is the basic thing. Now what we will do is, just for 3 minutes from now, I'll just give you instructions. whichever mantra you already have, you can practice it the way which I'm going to share with you. In case some of you may not have the mantra, okay, just be with your breath, because being with the breath itself is the Maha Mantra, which is beyond the scope of this session. So there may be some of you who would like to utilize your own mantra. Please do it. If some of you do not have a mantra, just be with your breath. Okay. And with that, we will come to a conclusion. So please sit straight. Relax your shoulders. Let your eyes be gently closed. Let there be a gentle smile on your face. And adjust your neck so that your eye is in the floor, parallel to the floor level, and you are neither looking up or looking down. So adjust your neck accordingly. Now take your awareness to the center of the chest. Until further instructions, without any count, just be with your mantra. Let the mantra keep happening at your center of the chest. With a smiling face, you are with that mantra. You can adopt a mudra of your choice or just keep the palms on the thighs. In case your mind wanders, it's absolutely fine. Continue to have the smile on your face and start the mantra at the center of your chest, that region. Those of you who are with the breath, with a smiling face, observe how breath enters and exits your body through the nostrils. Patiently keep getting your mind back to the mantra whenever it tries to do something else. Let's do it with patience and a gentle smile. Now you can rub your palms, generate some heat, Gently place the palms over your eyelids. Transfer the warm sensation. And look at your palms like how you would read a book. With a few blinks, keep looking at your palms. So what we can do, those of you who have attended today, you can, if you are regularly practicing, continue your practice. Take today's session as only a reinforcement. If you want to restart your practice, invest at least 6 times, give an appointment with yourself. Just be with your mantra. Don't even have the need to count. Just be with the mantra, set an alarm 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. Go up to 12 minutes in one sitting initially. 6 minutes is more than a starting point. So that is the sadhana which we do for mind culture and emotion culture. Because we need to be anchored when we deal with the world. Second is, whenever you are tempted to buy a book and study, check whether it is in alignment with the tradition which you follow, and preferably choose life histories of great ones, which will give us reinforcement in the journey of self-discovery. And then speak with your sampradaya and get the list of books and when you have to read. They may give the list, you have to ask, when should I read? Third is, attend satsanga, which is in alignment with your sadhana. And there will come a time when you are stable in your thought process, you are clear in your goal, and you will attend anything, you will understand whether that content is for you or not. Till that time, treat yourself like a child and how you treated your child for the first 7 years, which the child was with you. Then the child slowly develops an identification of I, me, right? So whenever you start a path, give yourself 7 years of time. As I say, nothing happens overnight, but for sunrise, if we are alive. Everything else takes time. So let us be patient. Nurture your sadhana like, remember the 120-year-old coconut tree. Feel free to give yourself a long rope of 7 to 12 years, but be consistent. Like you pour water every day, right? You don't pour water only on Sundays. Like that, don't do sadhana only when you get time. You make time to do sadhana, and the sadhana will grow up like a banyan tree within us. So this tripod is important. Sadhana backed by right reading and right company. Okay, that makes the content, whatever we wish to share today, to you. So the practices which we shared today are the lamp which is akin to knowledge and one small sadhana which you did now. So this is how we wish to proceed in the future. So that's it from us. And we started around 10 minutes late. So we will also conclude now. Before we leave, any parting shots, 30 seconds to a minute, you should feel free to share.
I just wanted to say thank you, feeling deeply grateful, and this is very insightful.
Thank you, Vivek.
Krishnaji, excellent session. And it brings a lot of energy and a lot of awareness of ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna ji. Can you repeat, chant all 4 mantras one more time? 3, yeah. What you say?
We'll do that later.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'll send the Acharya's video to you, which is there ready. The Rama's mantra, I'll send to you. That's.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. It was very
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you.
Reinforcement is very important.
Yes. Thank you. So great. I think we are grateful for your presence here. And with all your blessings and prayers, we officially start the walk in the foundation for Indic Wisdom. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Namaste.
you. Namaste.